The second week of the high school football season has passed, and it was a chance for teams to see if they can improve on their first week's performance. Hello and welcome to Sports Talk. I'm Tyler Sloan. The McKinney Lions improved to 2-0 on the season thanks to a big win over Frisco Heritage. Jeff Smith will be in studio to make the case why the Lions can remain undefeated next week. North and Boyd both played tight ball games but couldn't come up with the win. Mike Fetchy and Don Drake join us to explain why there is no need for teams to panic about 0-2 starts. We'll also announce our Scholar Athlete of the Week. It's all coming up next on Sports Talk. The McKinney Lions, a 45-21 win over Frisco Heritage in their second game of the season. They are up to 2-0 on the season. I'm joined by a very happy Jeff Smith. And Coach, going into this game, you're 1-0. You got the victory in the first week, and then you come right back with another impressive performance.
Well, you know, that's what you hope, that you're able to put them back to back and able to be a consistent football team, you know. And in the first week we were able to get a win, and you know, we challenged our guys all week long that, you know, if we really want to do something special, we need to start putting these back to back and, you know, playing well from week to week. And so we were real proud of the way the kids played and how they battled.
In your first game, it was more or less a shootout, a lot of points scored. In this game, you still scored the same amount of points, but your defense also came up big and only gave up 3 touchdowns in the entire game.
They did. You know, I really thought this week the defense picked it up significantly. You know, I thought they tackled really well. They were very physical. I thought that we created turnovers. We had 2 pick sixes, which is the first time we've had that in a long time. You know, we had a turnover that we capitalized on. So, you know, we did a really good job. I thought the defense overall was good and very physical, and we're definitely taking steps in the right direction in that area for sure.
We'll take a look at some of the highlights. Early on in the game, you get a field goal after a drive. You have a touchdown that's called back.
Yeah, we had a couple of, you know, things in the first half that really hurt us. You know, we had one that we were misaligned. They called it back and took points off the board. We also had a penalty that called another screen pass back for, you know, that we didn't get any points on. And, man, you never like it when you're taking points off the board because of mistakes. So we definitely have to clean that up.
And Matt Roberts, he was our Scholar Athlete of the Week last week, and he comes up with the goods here from 39 yards and cleared it by a good distance.
You know, Matt's got a good leg, and, you know, he works really hard at it. And it's good to see Matt confident and kicking the ball well, and he's off to a great start.
One thing you're able to do effectively is force turnovers on defense, and right there the ball is jarred loose.
Yeah, Ken and Samuel really, you know, scraped down the line and put a big hit on the back there and created a turnover, which gives the ball to the offense in a good position to score.
You do give it right back after Somborn threw an interception, but Frisco Heritage had to punt, and then your running game was really effective early on in the first quarter, a combination of Candell and Shannon.
It was. We ran the ball well last week, and we're real pleased with the guys up front that are opening those holes up. They're really doing a good job blocking, and our running backs are finding the holes. So, you know, we're real pleased with the running game and where it's going so far.
So you take a 10-0 lead after the Shannon 4-yard touchdown run, and then Frisco Heritage was able to answer back in the second quarter, and they made it 10-7, and then you answered with a 2-play drive of your own, and it was a deep pass from Somborn to Shannon, a 56-yard strike. What were you seeing from the defense in this game?
From Heritage's defense?
From Heritage's
defense. They, you know, first of all, their front four, as I mentioned last week, are very big, very physical. They, you know, they did a really good job putting pressure on us with those guys. And then in the secondary, they changed it up a little bit, did some different things, and it kind of gave us some trouble. But I thought our kids really adjusted well.
They did so indeed. They were trying to run the ball on you guys, and they had a little success, but your defense really kind of came up with the goods as far as being physical with them.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I thought that They did have a good running back, and their quarterback, as I mentioned last week, is a very special athlete, and really slowing those guys down was a big part of us being successful.
So there's a Somborn touchdown pass I was just mentioning. So you take a 17-7 lead, and then you come right back with Heritage having the ball, and John Terrell Rockmore is going to make a nice read on the ball, and it's a pick six.
He did. John Terrell played just fantastic. We couldn't be more pleased with his effort, and we really believe he can be a pretty special athlete and player for us, and he showed it. He had a pick six. He could have had another couple of picks, and it just dropped out of his hands, and he really tackled well. I guess that's what I really liked the most.
And then you have another pick six in the third quarter. It's Dalton Harris this time.
Yes, Dalton plays middle linebacker for us and really did a good job on that drop and converting on a pick six.
One thing your defense was able to do several times in this game is stop Frisco Heritage when they tried to go for it on fourth down, extend their drives. You didn't let them.
Right. Those are big downs. A lot of people like to go for it, and especially when it's in the red zone, and try to keep the pressure on our defense. And our defense found ways to get off the field, and anytime you can get stops, that's big.
Now, you ran the ball most of the night, but every once in a while you had to throw that changeup in the deep bomb as your quarterback Somborn threw another touchdown pass, this time to TV Williams.
Yeah, it's nice to have those deep threats. TV really can stretch the field vertically for us, and when we have a running game that's able to run the football, it puts defenses in a bind sometimes. And we've got a lot of improvement still yet to do. Our kids will tell you that. We're not satisfied. We're not where we need to be, but we're certainly happy with the strides we've made. We're happy with how the kids have played. We feel like we played 2 full games, four quarters in each game, and they played hard, and that's what we stress to them. And so, we're going to try to get better this week at practice and take more steps in the right direction this week against Nimitz.
And Nimitz is a team that they have a 1-1 record. They had a good win in their first week, but then they lose big to Arlington Lamar last week, 67-17. Now, Lamar's a good team, but at least you know that against Nimitz you're going to be able to put up some points.
Well, we hope so. You said it. Arlington Lamar is a storied program. They are always ranked high in the state. They always do well in their district and go deep in the playoffs. And so, Nimitz. I think there's an old rivalry between those two schools, and it was a tough game. But Nimitz the week before played real well against North Garland, put up a lot of points, played some good defense. They're a good football team, and they're very physical, very big up front, and it's going to be a challenge for our O&D line as far as our fronts and coming off the ball and controlling the line of scrimmage. It's going to be a big challenge for us, but we're excited. We're going on the road, again for the second time, and that's always, a challenge, when you go to someone else's place and play them there. So, but we're excited. We're excited about that opportunity, and feel like we need to, try to get better this week.
Going on the road next week, you played at home, your home opener this week, and it's always nice to get that first win in front of the crowd.
It is. It's nice to win anytime you're at home, in front of the crowd. We have a lot of people in the community that like to come out and watch and support these guys, and so obviously we want to do well for our fans at our place, and it's a special place for us playing at Ron Post Stadium, and we just got new turf out there. It's a great place to play, and our kids were excited about it.
The field conditions, you mentioned that you got new turf. How much has that helped, or has it really changed anything that your team does on the field? No,
not really. I mean, it's just a really nice upgrade. I know Coach Pratt and MISD Athletics and our superintendent, they've all really tried to do a great job of committing to upgrading our facilities and making them better. And Ron Post Stadium's a great stadium. We've got a great press box. We got the new turf this year, so our kids are just excited to play out there. It's a nice place to play, and it's home.
It almost does more for the fans than it does the players, as far as being appealing to the eye.
Sure. Yeah, it's something we're all real proud of, and it's home to us, and we love playing there. So we won't play there again till I guess Denton Ryan, but we'll be on the road the next couple of weeks. But it's a great place to play.
Talk to us about, in the first couple of weeks, a couple of injuries that you guys have sustained in the first 2 games, and what are you going to do to overcome those injuries?
Every year you have them. Injuries are part of it, though you hate to have them, and we talked about our depth, and I'm sure the other two guys across town would say the same thing. You know, we don't want to lose one kid, and we need to stay healthy, and those are really important things. And you know, Tommy Candella's had a collarbone injury, and you know, we'll see when you know, as far as time frame for him, but he's going to be out. We've got a couple of smaller things that we have, but you know, that's part of it. And although we hate them, and you know, you hate to see any kid have to sit out. We have other kids that step up into those roles, and we expect them to carry the load and do a good job. And you know, you saw that the other night when Tommy went down with his injury. I mean, you saw the other boys really say, hey, we need to step it up, and we need to get this thing done and win the game. And I was real proud of the way they responded. Sometimes it doesn't go that way. You know, when someone gets hurt, the team kind of struggles. And you know, we just started picking it up and finished the game. And so, you know, we just expect guys to step up into those roles and other guys to pick up the slack, and they will. They will. And he'll be back before you know it.
And you certainly have the guys capable to pick up this slack, especially at the running back position where Jonathan Shannon is used to carrying the load. He had to do that last year.
He did. You know, we like to keep Jonathan in the slot as much as we can, but he can run the ball and does that from time to time. Xavier Taylor jumped in last week and did a good job for us running the football. And so, you know, we've got several guys that we rep there and guys that we work all week in case we have injuries. And, you know, that happened last week, and Xavier stepped in and did a good job, and so did Red. So, you know, that's really important for us to be successful, guys to step up and rise up and get the job done.
While injuries obviously happen and they're unfortunate, at least you guys know that you have 2 wins in the books already, no losses, and next week against Irving Nimitz, looking to keep 3-0 on the season. And so, Coach Jeff Smith, thank you again for joining us, and good luck to you next week.
Thanks so much.
Again, that'll be the McKinney Lions next week against Irving Nimitz, looking to keep undefeated on their season.